Welcome to Film Strip, and our reviews of the Alien movie franchise.
There is an explanation for this.
Featuring Nick.
Check it out. I am the ultimate badass.
And Jay.
This is so nuts. Listen to what you're saying.
Please note, these episodes will contain spoilers and in-depth discussion of the plots and characters of the films. All content used or discussed in this podcast are the property of their respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504c2, Title 17.
Welcome to Film Strip. I'm Jay.
And I'm Nick.
And this is our review of Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, starring Stephen Pascal.
Wait a minute, these people got names? What the hell?
Yeah, they have names. John Ortiz, Johnny Lewis, Kristen Hager, Tom Woodruff Jr., and Ian White. Directed by the brothers Strauss. Released in 2007 on a budget of just over $40 million, grossed $128 million worldwide, 41 of it in the U.S., 87 foreign. This one, I said last time, Alien vs. Predator, the second grossing film in this Alien franchise. Well, no surprise here. AVPR is at the dead bottom, Nick. That this one, on its opening weekend, made $10 million.
Wow, that is shocking.
Yeah, it really did not do well. And I'll tell you, I told you, before the last review, Alien vs. Predator, I went with some buddies, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun or whatever, but I had watched that one again on TV or on video since and was just like, yeah, this is kind of dumb. So when this one came out, I was like, nope, not doing it. And one of the guys I had seen AVP with saw it and was just raving about it to me. He's like, dude, you got to see this movie. They totally go for it in this one. It's a hard R. I mean, they kill kids, and there's nuclear, and it's just crazy, man. And so it was many years until I watched this film, and I got to tell you, I still sit with my mouth ajar or my mouth agape when I see this incarnation of Alien and Predator on the screen together.
I mean, this is what the internet wanted. I mean, if you guys are listening to it and we're like on the forums complaining that AVP was rated PG-13, guess what? You got your wish. It was a hard R movie. Because you know what? Fox didn't listen to, Fox, all they got from everybody's complaining was that, hey, they want it's rated R. They want blood and guts, and they want to be offended. Who cares about the script? They're not in this for a plot, and that's what we got. And I didn't see this in the theater. I refused to. I don't even know anybody who saw this in the theater. But
I want to know, did you actually pay money to watch this for this retrospective, or did you bum the disc off somebody?
Believe it or not, it's on demand on cable. It obviously was the cut version. I mean, they cut some of the stuff down, but I that's actually a good thing, because I'm a fan of blood and guts when it's and I wouldn't say necessary, but when it serves the movie. I mean, when you're watching a slasher movie or something, a lot of times that stuff will kind of be like, it's fun because it's done in kind of a fun way or something, or even like a Hostel movie where you kind of went in expecting like, yeah, I want to get sick and gross from this movie. This was just shocking with all the blood and guts, and I still remember the first time I saw this. I was at Blockbuster, back when there was Blockbusters, and I rented this on DVD, and I watched the movie, and the first thought I got, even before the offensive stuff I saw in the movie, was, this movie's freaking dark. I mean, I don't know about you, but I actually had to readjust the brightness and contrast on my TV because I couldn't see a thing. And I think that was intentional. I don't think they wanted you to see anything on this.
That generally is the sign of something that's trying to do. Now, they will tell you, because I watched this and listened to the director commentary along with the producer, John Davis, who is primarily responsible for some of the Predator films. They intentionally went with this direction. Their DP and art director and stuff wanted to go with this shafts of light and all that. I don't know if that's convenient artistic excuse or if it's, they don't know what they're doing. These guys, the Strauss brothers, are effects guys. They run an effects house, and they do all kinds of big movies. They've done some really good effects work, and they got handed this thing, I think, because the blowback from AVP, they didn't want to go back to Paul W.S. Anderson and let him do another take. And I'll be honest with you, I feel the influence of John Davis and Predator on this one more. You know, I asked last time, is the last movie is it an Alien or is it a Predator film? And we both kind of said it's a Predator film, but there's definitely some Alien influence in it for good or bad. This one is definitely a Predator film by far.
Predator film and kind of a Pulp Fiction ripoff film.
There's a little bit of that too. Yeah, Shane Salerno, who was a part of the last writing crew, wrote this one. I think maybe in 24 hours. I don't know how long he spent on it. Maybe he got paid good for it. I hope he got a nice car out of it, because you thought the last one was thin, dude. This one is real thin. And people may ask, okay, wait a minute. Both of you are saying this is not an Alien film. Why are you doing it? Well, if we didn't, there would be people out there wanting to know, why didn't you do AVP? Why didn't you AVPR? Well, I think it's maybe because we're both hopeful that Prometheus is going to erase this from our minds once and for all. And I hope, if nothing more, Ridley Scott has at least had people who have seen this and are like, no, you can't do that. They did that in AVP.
Well, even beyond that, it's what got us to Prometheus. I mean, you can even look at the Batman franchise. I mean, I'm a big Batman fan. I mean, you had the first, 1989 Batman. You had Batman Returns, and then Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin. And Batman fans hate Batman and Robin. They hate it. I mean, a lot of Batman fans hate Batman Forever. I hate both of those movies. I think they're terrible. But if you're going to talk about Batman Begins, you have to bring up those two movies, because somehow Batman Begins had to get made and something had to lead into it. And those two movies are what led into Batman Begins. And same thing with Prometheus. I mean, we have two, quasi-alien movies that are leading into Prometheus. And I think that the success and failure of these movies and critical response to these movies is what maybe in the end kind of kicked Ridley in the butt a little bit and said, you know what, you got to go back to where you began with and kind of, help it out a little bit. I mean, your old wife is down on some hard times there, Ridley. You got to help her out a little bit now. I mean, remember how much you loved her? I mean, come back, help her out. So that's the whole reason why when you brought up, doing the AVP movies, I decided that, you know what, yeah, I'll watch them again and talk about them, because they are relevant to Prometheus in that regard.
Well, I think you bring up a good point. They're relevant because this is where we got to. And Ridley Scott's reasons for wanting to do that, I'm sure, will be made more evident once we get further into Prometheus and maybe beyond it. But it is important to cover these. I mean, there are some bad sequels in any series. There's bad films, and you just have to live through them. I'm a big Halloween fan, and I won't sit here and defend every one of those, particularly like the sixth one, which is just all over the place if you've never seen it. And I mean, we got rune stones and all kind of weird stuff going on in that movie, but it's a necessary part, because if that hadn't happened, I'd have never got H2O with Jamie Lee Curtis again. So I feel the same way about it here, is if we didn't get that, we'd have never got to where maybe our better or greener pastures.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, Nick, I think the best way to handle this one, you need to give us a plot summary, and then let's just talk about what we see here. You mentioned that it's offensive. Let's get into that and just talk about the whole experience of this before we completely slam it, because I think we can go ahead and say now we're both going to give this small popcorn. So now we're just going to tell you why.
All right, a guy eats a bunch of bad Chinese food, has stomach problems, and out comes AVPR. End of the plot summary.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't have that in this film. They had every other
okay, the plot summary, and I'm going to get pretty detailed with this one, even though, just so we don't have to go over it point by point, because, oh man, that's like pulling off a Band-Aid. Following the events of AVP, a Predator spaceship is leaving Earth carrying dead aliens, living facehuggers, and the body of the Predator that defeated the alien queen. A chestburster erupts from the dead Predator's body. It's a new creature that is a hybrid of alien and a predator. It quickly matures into an adult and begins killing the predators throughout the ship. The predator weapon causes a fire that punctures the hull of the spaceship, and it crashes into a forest outside a small town in Colorado. The hybrid and several facehuggers escape, implanting embryos into a nearby father and son, and to several homeless people living in the sewers.
Sewers.
Yes, a small town in Colorado has sewers that homeless people live in. This isn't New York. This is a small town in Colorado. But, okay, a distress signal from the wrecked ship reaches the Predator's homeworld, and a lone Predator responds, traveling to Earth and using its advanced technology to observe the cause of the crash and to track the facehuggers. It begins to erase the evidence of the aliens' presence by destroying the crash ship using a blue liquid to dissolve the bodies of the facehugger and their victims. But
maybe that happened in the script too.
Yeah, and even though it's dissolving these bodies, it's still killing and skinning people, because the best way to destroy evidence of any alien creatures is to create more evidence of alien creatures. But meanwhile, an ex-convict, Dallas Howard, after serving time in prison, he is greeted by Sheriff Eddie Morales and reunites with his younger brother Ricky. Ricky has romantic interests with a more affluent classmate, Jesse, and is being harassed by her boyfriend Dale and two of his friends.
Wait a minute. I thought you were talking about an alien movie. Is this 90210 or freaking One Tree Hill? Where do these people come from?
I don't know, but I think Michael Bay kind of copied this for Transformers. Kelly O'Brien has just returned to Gunnison after service in the military and reunites with her husband Tim and daughter Molly. The Predator fights a number of aliens in the sewers, and as the battle reaches the surface, several of them disperse into the town. The Predator pursues some of them to a power plant where collateral damage from its weaponry causes the citywide power outage. Yes, the small town in Colorado does have a nuclear power plant, people, so we just have to go with it. We just have to.
Okay.
Ricky and Jesse meet at the high school swimming pool, but are interrupted by Dale and his cohorts just as the power fails and an alien enters the building, killing Dallas's friends. Another alien invades the O'Brien home, killing Tim, while Kelly escapes with Molly. Kelly, Molly, Ricky, Jesse, Dallas, Dale, and Sheriff Morales, whatever his name is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what his name is. Meet at a sporting goods store to gather weapons. Troops from the Colorado Army National Guard arrive, but are quickly killed by the aliens. When the battle between the Predator and alien enters the gun store, Dale is killed and the Predator's shoulder cannon is damaged. It is able to modify one into a handheld blaster. Like it matters. As the survivors attempt to escape Gunnison, they make radio contact with Colonel Stevens, who indicates that an air evacuation is being staged at the center of town. Kelly is suspicious of the military's intentions, convincing the small group to go to the hospital where they hope to escape via helicopter, while Sheriff Morales heads to the evacuation area with the rest of the surviving citizens. The hospital, however, has been invaded by aliens and the hybrid creature. The Predator soon arrives, and in the ensuing battle, Jesse is killed, Ricky is injured, and Dallas takes possession of the Predator's blaster cannon. As the Predator reaches the rooftop, Dallas, Ricky, Kelly, and Molly escape in the helicopter while the Predator battles the hybrid alien hand to hand. The two creatures mortally wound each other just as the military jet arrives. Rather than a rescue airlift, it is a bomber, executing a tactical nuclear strike that destroys the entire city and kills the extraterrestrials along with the remaining citizens. The shockwave causes the fleeing helicopter to crash into a clearing where the survivors are rescued by the military. The Predator's blaster cannon is confiscated by Colonel Stevens and presented to Miss Yutani, while telling her the world is not ready for this technology. And that is where the movie ends. And I kind of cut out the part, but yes, there is a scene where the alien hybrid impregnates a pregnant woman, but we'll get more into that.
Oh, man, so many problems. Last time I said that the plot felt like a fanboy service in some ways. So my question to you is, Nick, where in the heck did they come up with all of this? Now, not the Predator alien hybrid, the Pred alien, whatever you want to call it. That we got set up in the last movie. How did they decide, the thing to do with this is to crash it in Colorado, and then at the end we just have to nuke the whole town?
This is straight out of a video game. I mean, isn't this kind of like how every Resident Evil video game ends, where it's like, oh yeah, we gotta nuke it. That's just all this. This is I mean, are we sure this isn't a fanboy script that somehow got into possession of Fox? Because it is bad. This whole thing is bad. It's offensively bad.
Well, even beyond what is offensive, and we're going to get there and stuff, I'll tell you what's really bad. We complained about the human cast last time, right? That they were really boring and ultimately were only there to all be killed very quickly once we got down to the real fighting. These people, this cast, it's like I told you, like I interrupted there, man. It's like at one half we got an Alien and a Predator movie going, and the other half we got One Tree Hill. And this movie is all over the place with the human cast. There's too many of them. You got the sheriff, the convict who's never explained, his loser brother who gets beat up by some rich kids who then he later saves, who all get killed. You got the dad and son out hunting near the sewers, and then they get killed by the alien facehugger things. You got all this stuff going on, and then you have people survive a nuclear blast in a helicopter. That's straight out of Sum of All Fears, by the way. But I mean, really, all of that happens. And it's really only because we want to get around to watching Ian White as the Predator again and Tom Woodruff Jr. playing the Pred Alien this time so they can throw down and have another face-off. But this one's not even WWF style. They don't do anything cool in their fights this time.
Yeah, I know I gotta give the one compliment I'm gonna give to this movie. The Predator in this movie does look better than the Predator in AVP. I mean, at least when he takes off his mask, he doesn't look like a mongoloid like the last movie.
Well, is that because you can't see it or because it looks better? Because you did say it was
probably
dark.
a little bit from both columns in that regard, but yeah, this movie is a classic example of not knowing what it wants to be, and the cast of characters. I mean, it makes AVP's cast of characters look, damn near Shakespearean. I mean.
Oh man, that's like watching Gone with the Wind's cast versus this crew.
I mean, you got little references like this guy's name is Dallas, and then of course we got the strong female character who's the Ripley wannabe. It's so bad, and
here's the thing: the strong female character. You know what she's from? She's from 24. That's what I know her from. She was one of the main characters the first 3 seasons of 24. And John Ortiz, who plays the sheriff, had just come off of a great performance in the Miami Vice film. This is what they got to do after that.
Wow, I hope he fired his agent for that, man. Because wow.
These other people, they all hired in Canada where they shot.
I swear that the whole setting up the characters, they grabbed just like the biggest cliche crap you could. You got the guy coming out of jail who's, probably not that bad, made a couple mistakes, but he learned his lesson. Then you got the stupid little, high school drama crap, guy liking the girl, but she's got of course, the attractive girls going out, the big asshole guy who's got a clan of, little lackeys that, do everything he wants them to do. And it's so stupid. And then, of course, even with the mom coming home from war, they just switched roles. They're probably like, hey, Alien, they switched the role of Ripley, who should have been a guy to a girl. Let's do it here with this and have the military person be a woman. It is so freaking, it's terrible.
So can I blame the Lifetime show Army Wives on this then too? Because that would just make me happy.
I honestly, I'd rather watch a Lifetime movie than this movie, to tell you the truth.
I've seen ones that look better. I will say that. So, you know what? I defended some of Alien versus Predator, especially because I knew you hated it so badly. But ultimately, I felt we came to the same recommendation at the end of that. What I said was, if you're not a big fan of the Alien series, then you probably could tolerate it. I
took your review.
I don't know.
It's a small bag of caramel corn. It's
yeah.
You can handle a small bag of it, and that's it.
This, though, there is no defending this whatsoever. This is such a ripoff of so many different things, and none of it done well, that it is hard to watch. And I watched this and then watched it with the director commentary again, and listened to the director and the directors and the producer try to explain to us what they were doing. And mainly they just talked about trying to make things gory and how to do the effects.
Giving you a round of applause because, damn it, dude, that takes a lot of courage to do that. I mean, not watch it twice, but to listen to it with director's commentary. I mean, that is like walking over hot coals. That is,
the things I will do for fans of film strip. So, well, hey, I am currently reviewing Leprechaun films too. So, I mean, we've done it all. So I
freaking Godfather compared to this movie.
Dude, Leprechaun. I would watch Leprechaun 2, which I said was one of the worst things I'd ever seen. I will watch that again before I ever see this again. I own this disc, and I may not own it after tonight. I may get rid of it just so I can.
I got to tell you this
because this movie's
own these movies. And
wow.
You know how I got them? I actually was at a Blockbuster that was closing down, and they had both of these movies up for sale for 99 cents. And I went up to the guy at the front counter and I said, I'll just take them. I said, I'm not going to pay you for them. So I said, you're not going to sell these. And he actually just gave them to me. I didn't have to pay him for them at all. He's like, just take them. Because there was literally like 15 of each of them there. In like the little they're obviously from the Blockbuster's mail-in service thing that they're trying to resell and stuff. And they just had a big stacks of them. And he was just like, yeah, just take them. Because I did buy some other movies there. So I think he probably maybe, rearranged some pricing on that. But yes, I did get these movies for free. And after I got done watching them, well, me and my son decided to go play Frisbee outside. And yep, that's where they are right now. So if anybody does want these, if you want to take a trip up to Wisconsin, and they're out on the front lawn somewhere, so.
Maybe your dog will leave some of them.
All dogs know well enough to stay away from those pieces of crap. Dogs may like to eat their crap, but they ain't going to eat this piece of crap.
Well, the thing about this is, and I think we teased it there at the beginning, I want to say it again. These two directors got their start working on X-Files.
These two guys.
Okay, these special effects coordinators got their start working on X-Files and on the X-Files movies, and then they formed their own company, and they worked on like Titanic, they worked on 300, they worked on Poseidon Adventure, the remake, and they did Volcano. They did a lot of films, and they unsuccessfully pitched an idea for the first movie. But when they decided to do the sequel, Fox went back to them and let them do it. They cut the budget, but they told them go with it, and they had to start filming almost immediately. So this thing got put into production fast as they were working on it.
Yeah, it clearly shows.
Yeah. it sadly
but you know
does.
what, I think so, you give these guys 10 years and $100 million, and you know what, I don't think they can come up with anything better than what they did. I've seen Skyline. Okay, these guys,
that's their other director.
They don't deserve to be freaking making movies. Okay, they do a great job doing special effects. You know what, I do a great job cooking mac and cheese, but it doesn't mean I should be cooking, freaking lobster for the president, okay? And
well, you know what? And here's the thing. They will both tell you, and they talk about it on that commentary, they consider themselves directors second to their effects. Like, their effects house has made them very, very wealthy and successful. They do this directing stuff probably for ego more than anything. I don't think these guys are lining up trying to get in the Oscars or nothing. Look at the projects they take. Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, and that Skyline movie. There's no way these guys are. I don't think they take themselves seriously. I didn't get the feeling that they did. In some ways, I almost feel like they're like, yeah, this is kind of lame. But the producer's presence there let me know that he probably had a lot to say about what went on in this film.
Yeah, I don't think they're going out for Oscars. And the truth be told, I think the freaking Raspberry Awards, looked at this and probably said, you know what, we're too good to even talk about this movie. Ugh. I don't think
the Razzies even bothered with this.
It was too obvious.
Sure. So that's too obvious. Yeah, but now, like I said, John Davis was a guy that was a part of Predator and Predator 2, and he also was a producer on, The Firm, and he did stuff like Grumpy Old Men. He's done a lot of hits. He was part of Waterworld, for better or worse. He's had some stuff that made money and was a hit. So he's still working today. I mean, since this, he was a part of Predators, and he's done, he did the Gulliver's Travel movie with Jack Black. So, I mean, the dude can finance films and make them run. I mean, say what you will about it. made a lot of money, and on home videos made even more. Its total grosses are up over 160 million now. And there's somewhere out there, Nick, is there an audience that likes this? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. How can anyone like this? I mean, I gave you reasons people could like Alien versus Predator. I don't know how people could like this. You have children, small children, a small child gets a face hugger thrown on him, and in the unrated version, you see the chest burster pop out of him. You know, you have pregnant women who get attacked by the pred alien who links up with them face to face and basically throws, like through its throat, injects alien embryos into them to feed on their unborn children and them, and then burst out as adult aliens. I mean, how more ridiculous and trying to be offensive can you get?
I don't think you can. I really don't. I mean, I honestly, I would love to see the people that actually really think this is a good movie or even a fun movie. As far as the people that like this movie, I mean, I would love to meet them, because I don't think they exist. I think these are just trolls on the internet that really like this movie. And if someone actually really did, I mean, I'd kind of be scared of them, because if you find something this offensive, funny, or good, or even just guilty pleasure, I mean, that's kind of scary.
Well, tell me why it offends you specifically.
It's offensive violence for violence sake. I mean, the whole thing in the hospital with that, I mean, there is absolutely no reason for that at all. I mean, there's no reason in the plot. There's no reason for anything. They make the aliens spit out embryos into there for what reason? For what reason? The only reason to do it was just to offend people.
Right.
I mean, from what supposedly this pred alien can shoot an embryo into your mouth and out would come an alien. Well, now it's going to shoot 12 into a woman because she's pregnant. It makes absolutely no sense at all.
Well, see, that's to me is the thing that you can do offensive things in films or things meant to shock. Look, Alien 3 we talked about. There was stuff there meant to shock us. That whole autopsy scene and all that stuff. But there's a purpose to it. Like there was a mood.
It was there to service it.
Yeah,
it was there to service the plot.
Yeah, there was a mood that Fincher was creating with that, and it worked. And as much as that bugs me and I don't like that scene, I understand what it's trying to do. Here, they're only trying to do this to get a rise out of us, to shock us. And you know what? It doesn't work. Because I know this is a movie, and this is so ridiculous that it just turns me off. It's like you don't have anything better to say or do, so this is all you can come up with is this crap. And it makes me not invest in any of the characters here. And then beyond that, there's too many people, and I don't know anything about any of them other than just the basic caricature we get of them. And I don't care about the storyline. I don't care what's going on. The whole thing here is the bit is that they send this predator back to clean up the mess on Earth, right? And this is supposed to be the Pulp Fiction reference, right? He's supposed to be the Harvey Keitel character that comes in when you got a problem.
The wolf.
Yeah, the wolf. But along the way, he's still killing deputies. He's still blowing up half the town. I mean, it doesn't work. I'm like, why would the Predator give a rip? Unless it worries that, this is going to happen and people are going to find out about it. And we're not going to be able to hunt on Earth anymore. Well, why would he care if they taught us how to build pyramids?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, I can buy, maybe the Predators, they don't want to kill people, because they have this honor and stuff, so they're going to send a guy back here to take care of this situation. Okay, why would they only send one, first of all? They'd send probably, they can go invisible, okay? It's not like they're not going to get spotted. And then, after he's erasing evidence, and then he's creating more. I mean, as I brought up in the plot summary, he's killing sheriff deputies and skinning them and hanging them by the trees. If he's going to go there and just randomly kill people, then why are they sending them back at all if they don't care?
Can I tell you the answer for that? Because the brothers Strauss will go into that detail in the commentary if you listen to it, is that, well, just because they're cleaning up alien stuff doesn't mean they're stop being predators. I mean, predators kill everything. And I'm like, no, you guys really don't get it.
Yeah, you guys, they obviously haven't seen any other Predator movie. I mean, they obviously never saw the McTiernan one, because the Predator's a hunter. I mean, are we supposed to take it that the wolf is, doing a job, but he's also a sociopath on top of it? I mean, if you were out in, Africa, helping build hospitals or something, trying to do something, noble, like supposedly this predator's doing and trying to stop these aliens from killing people, would you just be going around killing animals just for the hell of it? I mean, It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Yeah. What did you make of the Pred Alien, the alien predator hybrid when it was full grown?
well, I want to see the deleted scene where the predator, the Pred alien gets its hair braided. I mean, it's stupid. It's completely stupid. I can take it that the alien takes traits of the creature to survive in the habitat. If it's gonna go after, impregnate a biped human, it's gonna come out like a biped human. If it's gonna impregnate a dog or some other animal, yeah, the only reason it would come out being able to walk on all fours is because that body type is suitable for that environment that animal lived in. Okay, so if it's gonna now take on the predator, what purpose do those mandibles and dreadlocks serve?
Oh, not just mandibles with the shooting tongue jaw thing.
There's absolutely the whole trait thing is completely it's absurd here because it's only going to take traits that help it survive in that environment. The mandibles and dreadlocks serve absolutely no purpose besides it being like, hey, isn't this cool? It's like half predator and half alien. That's the only reason it's done like that. And I understand, there was a Pred alien in the game. It looks somewhat similar, but you know what? Video games are one thing. Plays a big fat freaking plumber eating mushrooms and growing up really big. It doesn't mean it works good in a movie, okay? I think I've seen that movie. It doesn't work good in a movie thing, okay?
In 3 Predator films, the first 2 and then the most recent one, Predators, we still don't know how these things reproduce. I can only assume that reproduction bit where it's throwing the whatever rolling embryo critter type things into the mouth of something else that's how the predators reproduce. But I don't know that. That's never explained. Again, if they had set that up and explained it in some way, then I don't know that I would like it. I still think it's offensive, but at least it has a point. Right now, I don't know where that comes from. How does the Pred alien get to be a queen too? At the same time, because it wasn't a queen that impregnated it.
It's all just a plot device how they can get multiple aliens coming out right away. That's all it is.
Well, the whole town gets overrun with them. That's the whole bit, is that the worst fear of Ripley and everybody else is true. These things get on Earth and they're uncontainable, which, unless they're in Antarctica, apparently, they're very containable down there, but they're not containable on Earth. And they take over this town in less than a day. This all goes down in a morning to an evening. Which I don't know if you've been around watching the military mobilize. Look, they're pretty efficient. They don't move that fast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no way. And Colorado is full of military bases. There's no way something's getting nuked with that much stuff around. You got Crystal Palace up there, for goodness sakes. There's no way.
And the whole thing, too, is it doesn't make any sense. The whole Pred alien premise makes no sense. If you go back to Aliens, you had the alien queen. The alien warriors served the alien queen. You could even say in the first Alien that was just an alien warrior, and it was an ant without a queen. So now we have AVPR, and we have this Pred alien who's kind of like a queen. Well, it's creating all these aliens. Well, what's the purpose? What's purpose are these aliens serving?
Chaos. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing.
And
that
makes
happens.
no sense. I mean, if you had it doesn't make any sense at all, because those alien warriors would be around to serve the queen, would be able to, make a nest, bring in people to, host more aliens and, increase the population of their species. Here they're just killing for killing's sake and just, causing chaos and stuff, and it's stupid.
Let me ask you this. Why would the aliens be any more tolerant of the Pred alien than the Predator is? Wouldn't they see that thing as a threat too?
I don't know. Sure, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we're giving this a lot more thought than the script writers and the Strauss brothers have.
Maybe I am, but I mean, really, I would think it would have been neat if the Pred alien had to fight those off. That would have been interesting. No, it would have been interesting. It would have been less ridiculous than what we get. That's what I'm trying to say.
If this group would have picked up a guy playing Ronald McDonald's at a McDonald's and brought him into the group, the movie would have been less ridiculous. Okay.
Well, let me ask you that. Well, maybe Ronald McDonald and the Burger King facing off is better than the Pred alien and the Predator facing off. Well, why are the aliens that it births not more Pred alien-like? Why are they just straight aliens? Besides the fact that this is a cheap production, besides that reality in real world, why in story are they not also Pred alien?
I don't know.
They come out thinking the thing again.
It's again, we're putting way more thought into it than they did. There's no reason why they wouldn't look more like the Pred alien. It's nothing. The whole reason why was they probably had some costumes left over from the other movie, or probably from the Alien set. I don't know, and that's just all they wanted to go with. And obviously this movie's trying to take cues from the better movies. It's got, some of the score from Aliens. I mean, you can catch the beats in the movie, and the aliens look like the aliens from Aliens, and there's so much stuff in here the gun noises are mimicked from Aliens. I mean, this movie is just borrowing stuff from the better movies, and it thinks that by borrowing it, it's going to make it a better movie when it's just showing it. It's just making the movie more evident that it's just a sorry piece of crap.
And the whole thing goes down in the middle of town at the hospital and the power plant, right? Which are not far from each other. Now, I don't know what you know about power plants and hospitals, Nick, but there's a reason you don't put a nuclear power plant near anything else for a long way. If you
maybe
can
we're going to take it that, those pregnant women are going to have mutated babies, and that's,
Well, and how many pregnant women are there in this small town? The whole ward is full of women, like, in labor at the same time.
Even more offensive than that, too, is, like, they have to show the maternity ward with the babies crying, and then the alien... Was the alien in the room with the babies?
The Pred alien was it was salivating over those babies.
I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh my god, you can't kill a dog and you can't kill kids in movies. I'm fine with it if it services the plot. This is just to get you to go, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that. That's all it is.
Speaking of servicing the plot, they decide in the ultimate end of all of this, when you've got what's left of the human characters finally getting away after they've sort of chased themselves around town and back and are trying to fly out now, that the military's involved, and the one military lady realizes, they're not really going to save us. They're going to kill us all. So she gets them all out of town just as the nuke drops, while the predator and the Pred alien have basically stabbed each other to death and are waiting to bleed out.
See, in a good movie, they would have set that up where it would have been like, she would have had a flashback, or maybe the beginning of the movie is with her with the military, and they did this to like maybe a city, like a third world country town or something, where there's like a virus outbreak, and they basically tell them, hey, we're going to evacuate you guys in the middle of town, and then they nuke them or something, or drop like a freaking bunker buster on them. And then that way, hey, you got the gun in the first act, the gun's going to shoot in the third act. Then they could show like, hey, they're telling her the same thing, and she's like, no, this is standard protocol to get everybody in the center of town so they can, liquidate these people, and we can't do it.
We're too busy killing kids and melting stuff away with blue liquid in the first act to set up anything.
And I even got to bring up too is like, you got this guy and he has this crush on the girl. What is the end game for that? Both of them end up getting killed in hilarious ways.
Well, the one guy, Ricky lives. He's just got his arm torn.
Did he live? I thought he died. See,
No, Ricky got stabbed and lived. Dale, the jerk boyfriend, dies, and Jessie, the good-looking girl, gets pinned to the wall by the Kroll as it's getting thrown through a bunch of aliens by the Predator.
What was the point?
To shock us and no one is safe. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, this isn't Game of Thrones here,
I haven't even seen Game of Thrones, and I know that. If Game of Thrones was this, I would not be interested in watching.
I bring up Game of Thrones because that's what kind of the big thing about Game of Thrones is that no one's safe. No one's safe. That's what the show works because of that. This movie is just, it's hilariously bad because of that even too, because they're setting up stuff and none of the characters have an arc. It's just like, oh yeah, here's the good looking girl trope, and here's the nerdy guy who likes her, cliche, and she's got the jerk boyfriend, but we're going to kill these people off in different orders that you don't expect for no reason, except for just to be like, oh yeah, I guess, doing something a little different, but it's, again, I'm just going to keep on using the word stupid.
Well, you sound like me reviewing Batman and Robin, and I can understand your pain, because this just has no point at all.
AVPS,
and I think that's
what we're going to call it. AVPS. AVP stupid.
Well, I think we're at the point of the podcast where we have to, end all suspenses, if there is any, much like this film. We've telegraphed it way too early. The final recommendations and popcorn ratings. So, Nick, what are yours for Aliens versus Predator Requiem?
Small popcorn. Not even gonna say anything more. Just a small popcorn. Movie is not even worth explaining why I have to say a small popcorn. You obviously got it. So
yeah, this is a bad. This is not only small popcorn, but it's small popcorn to be avoided at all costs, folks. You don't need this at all, and I'm fairly certain it will never be referenced in anything again except podcasts where people rail on it for 45 minutes or whatever, because there's nothing redeemable about this at all. And I would hope none of you bother with it at this point. But Nick, we do need to take a minute or two here because this is our last podcast in the series before Prometheus comes out. And a lot of rumors and all kind of stuff flying around out there and everything. I got to tell you, man, I'm excited for this film. If for nothing more than I know by default, it's got to be better than the last few we've watched here. But I'm excited to see what Ridley Scott can do now that he gets to do what he's wanted to do for years, and that's go back to the space jockeys and everything that happens before the tragedy of the Nostromo.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited, and I'm excited for basically being a movie in the Alien universe, and I'm kind of hoping it doesn't feature an alien in it. I mean, the last two movies they've hurt the alien creature so bad. I don't even know if James Cameron, Ridley Scott, and David Fincher maybe coming together and doing some big alien opus could even revive the monster. It's like I said, it's been beaten so bad. You can't even recognize it anymore. And, Alien Resurrection was bad too, but even after Alien Resurrection, there was still a little bit of hope that maybe the series could be revived, something could happen. I mean, it happened with X-Men. I mean, necessarily bad sequels doesn't always make a series dead, but with AVP and AVPR, I think that it's just probably best that the alien xenomorph is at least no longer the main creature in a movie. And from the looks of Prometheus, looks like the direction Ridley Scott is going in. I actually just read an interview with the writer for it, Linendorf, or I'm butchering his name right now, but
Damon Lindelof.
Yep. He basically was telling the story about how this project came to be, and it was originally going to be a really strong Alien prequel. And when I say strong, I mean a movie that directly ties into Alien. It's going to, it happens on LV-426. This is a crew that finds it. This is how the company finds out about it. This is the evolution of the alien creature, and it's going to lead basically right before the Nostromo lands. But I think they wisely went back and said, hey, the alien creature has been played out, unfortunately. We'd love that you have the creature in here, but if we're going to conclude this creature in here, it's going to make the movie weaker because of what came before it. So we're going to take the premise of the space jockey, the race of this creature, what they're doing, and it's going to be set in the same universe. We're just going to kind of step back a little bit and tell a different story, and that's why I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how it connects the alien. I mean, it's almost kind of like I don't even know how to explain it. It's going to be kind of cool to look at the little Easter eggs that are going to connect us to the universe. That's what I'm kind of most excited about. And I'm excited about, a little explanation of the space jockey. I mean, I kind of like the mystery around it, but I'm kind of curious to see what they say about it. And, if I don't like it, you know what? I don't have to acknowledge it. I don't acknowledge Alien 3. I don't acknowledge Alien Resurrection. I don't acknowledge the AVP movies. So, I really have no, what's the word I'm looking for? I have no really strong investment in the movie other than just being excited for it. If it turns out to be crap, whatever. We've already dealt with 4 crappy movies. So it's just more of the same. But I'm hoping that it's going to be Ridley Scott's return to form. His last couple movies really haven't been that great. I know a lot of studio interference and everything, but, I'm excited for it.
I will say this. You brought up something else. X-Men, when they came back and did First Class, that's how you do a reboot, prequel, whatever. I think that's a fantastic film, maybe the best one in that series. And if they can hit at least the same tone of that, where we're going to play in the same universe, but we're also going to rewrite it so we can go in different places, I'm cool with it too. I don't want to see the xenomorph either, not in the form that I know it in, because I've seen that enough times now that I don't think there's anything new to do with it. There was really nothing new to do with it after the second one. The third film is only interesting in the assembly cut version because of the human characters and the journey they're on. There's nothing interesting about the last 3 films we reviewed that I want to revisit at any time as an Alien fan. So I am glad to see that they're going away from that that template or that mold. They don't feel like they're tied to it. That's what I'm hoping for, is a good experience. And you know what I'm really wanting? I want Ridley to make me think. I want him to go back to Blade Runner and make me think. You know, for all the problems that film has, and it certainly has some, that movie makes you think, or at least it makes me think. And I want that again out of this kind of film. I want a smart sci-fi film, and if I get that, I'm gonna be happy with it. Even if the ties to the Alien series are incredibly tenuous, I won't care as long as it is good quality and it makes me think.
Well, are you excited about the Chariots of God type thing again? Because I know you brought that up.
You know, I tend to not like that storyline, and I know that's a part of this, or at least allegedly a part of this again. I'll say this: if they do it well and they do it right, I will go with it. The fact that it's not taking place on Earth, at least not a chunk of it, I'm probably more willing to go with it, because that's the thing I don't want to come back and see, is how you taught me math or how to build a pyramid.
We got to take the title into consideration. I mean, Prometheus, he stole fire from the gods
and gave it to humans. Yeah, that's right. So yeah,
and then the gods made him suffer. And
right.
I think the title I think is going to be very literal in this. I mean, okay, the gods, space jockey, Prometheus going there. I'm assuming the plot had something to do with them finding the space jockey and learning something about our history or our past, or maybe some type of technology. You know, maybe it has to do with terraforming. I don't know, but something that basically the space jockeys or that race does not want us to know. And it's going to be about them, the space jockey, going after this crew for discovering this.
And that is, that's the thing in all mythology, and, even in religion, that's a part of it, is if you try to get on the level of the creator, you can't. And then a lot of times that will result in your demise.
The Tower of Babel, trying to reach heaven, trying to, something you're not supposed to do. And I think that could be very interesting. I mean, it has the same type of setup as AVP, if I'm reading this right and I'm correct, but it's taken it a completely different direction. And, what happens, when I'm actually thinking the plot might actually kind of go as the space jockeys leave these clues, but it's almost a trap in a way. It's like if the species is advanced enough to be able to understand these clues and come up and find us, then the species needs to be killed.
Yeah, when your creation becomes so smart that it can take you out, it's time to take it out.
Yeah, almost kind of like Frankenstein's monster, where it's like, he creates this thing and it turns out, he doesn't. It needs to get put down in the end because of the threat it is, and that very well could be this with the space jockeys. Is they're going around and they're creating life, and humans are one of the lives that they created, but they're also very power hungry and they don't want to be threatened. They don't want their creation to be able to maybe eventually overtake them, so they leave these clues. You come and find us, we're going to take you out. And
we've seen that theme played a lot of different ways in films. And if they go with that, I will be interested to see if it's done well. That's what I will say, and reserve all the other judgments until I actually see the thing.
And we also got to bring up too, it is rated R, which I know that was a big concern of people because, this is a big movie. I mean, the budget is pretty damn big for this movie, and it's a summer movie, and for a big budget summer movie to be rated R.
But yeah, the budget's what, $130 million on this? So that's a lot for a rated R movie.
The last time I've ever heard of a rated R movie having that type of budget, we're talking about the Matrix sequels.
That to me says they're banking on the worldwide distribution to really cash in on it, because that will play different in foreign countries. Like their rating systems are different than ours here, and so that it may get in front of more people there potentially than it would here. Though, I mean, look, I remember being under the age to see rated R movies, and I found ways into them too. I think people still do that.
This is a star-studded cast.
And Ridley Scott. Look, and the guy that wrote it is one of the guys behind Lost and Alias and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's fair to say that, you should expect a lot from this movie.
Well, there certainly are a lot of expectations for it, and I think we built it up well. So I'm looking forward to reviewing it on this podcast series and kind of wrapping a bow up on the Alien series as well. So, folks, we thank you for joining us in this latest episode. Really appreciate your support. So you can find more episodes at our website, continuousplaypodcast.com/movies. You can hook up with our Facebook and Twitter accounts there. Also, leave us a message on the guest book. Search through our archives and see some of the other films we've done. We both have mentioned Batman a couple times here. We did the whole Batman series way back when, and we'll be revisiting that one again later this summer too. So check that out. Let us know what you think, and as always, we appreciate your support here. So until next time, for Nick, I'm Jay. Thanks for tuning in to Filmstrip.
Thanks for listening to Filmstrip and our reviews of the Alien movie franchise.
Still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you?
Visit our website, continuousplaypodcast.com, for more reviews and episodes.
I say we take off, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
All content used or discussed in this podcast are the property of their respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504c2, Title 17.
This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.